Hey folks, welcome back to Timberborn, and fans of Timberpunk, I'm still waiting for mods to be updated to be able to play on that. So we're continuing with creators, and the first thing we're going to do is simplify my overly complicated logic that we have here, thanks to comments. And that's why I asked for comments, because I massively overcomplicated this. I have a habit of doing that when I do things, so that's why I often ask for you guys to help. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave this gate. We're going to turn it into an OR gate. That means I don't need to go through and reprogram all of the plank productions. That is correct. We are going to have it fed by the plank high and plank low. And we'll be able to delete a bunch of this. We are then going to, nope, we can do even simpler actually. Ignore that, ignore me. We are going to come in here and we are going to nuke all of that. I've done 2 iterations of improving this since you were last here, and I was remembering number 1, not to the final version. All we need to do is grab ourselves a memory controller. So we are going to have to reprogram everything because this is way neater. We use a set reset. We take the plank low in as our set. We take the plank high in as our reset. We will name that as the plank controller. And that's it. That's all you need to do. Way simpler than what I was doing before. I have a habit of overcomplicating things. If you watched my last Timberpunk video, you will have seen that. So yeah, still 3 blocks, not 7, but I still think it's more than it should have to be. So the good news is the creator of real automation, I think he's planning to call it extended automation or something like that, is going to keep developing that mod. He's just waiting for the game to stabilize before he puts the, I think since the devs released their own automation into the game, we need to unpause some things. That one as well, probably. Yeah, since the devs released their own automation into the game, they've done, I think, 2 more updates, so he's waiting for the game to stabilize before he puts time into coding things. But yeah, if we prioritize the build of that, and then we need to go through and automate off of that. And that will do the job. So what are we going to do today? I want to go through and work on fixing some of the things that we need to fix since the update. But we'll have the game running because we have other things happening at the same time, and so we might as well make some progress. I probably need to go through and name some of these things and delete some of the things that don't need to be in there. There we go. And I grabbed that. I did. Why are some of you paused and some of you not paused? Because I picked the wrong thing. That would be why. And you can click on the button on the side and it'll jump you to what's controlling it, which I quite like. We do have a bunch more random plank productions scattered through the colony. So, and as we go through automating stuff, we'll hopefully pay attention and pick up any that are missing workers and that kind of thing. Not guaranteeing I'll do that, but you know, we'll try. You probably need to be unpaused. Looks like those need to be unpaused, and I've got a feeling we're going to be quite short of population now, because we did have things set up to rely on the fact that we didn't need to have every building populated. So, yeah. We could have a bit of a problem, folks, in terms of numbers of beavers and bots. So, maybe it would be worth us looking at expanding our population. And now we have the ladders mod to hand. Maybe we can make use of that. And put in a cheeky little poolside expansion of the accommodation to expand the population. I think that's probably the best way of dealing with that. These guys we need to remember to automate, so let's do that actually. So, oh yes, thank you to Namor for pointing out how we use this. So the power meter, you connect into the grid with power shafts. So we'll have a look at that at some point. But we should look at automating our water pumps, and we want to do that off of a weather one. Where's that? There we go. So if we put that there, and we want these to pump when, we can just leave it as weather station, can't we? So if we automate off of weather station, and weather station. Now you're a bad water pump, so you need to be off of contamination, don't you? And in theory, you should never be needed. But what we could do is automation, contamination sensor, and I'm assuming this works the same way, and it needs to sit above. So let's get those built with a priority. We need to unpause you. So many things to pick up on that are not behaving the way we expect them to behave with the removal of, I think automation extended is what it's going to end up being called. So let's have a threshold of like 3%. Yeah, that'll do. Let's name it main contamination. We've got to automate you off of that. And they're set up as well. So that's brilliant. So that's sorted. We need to deal with this. So how are we going to measure the depth in there? Guess we could put a depth sensor on one of these, or there maybe. That would work, wouldn't it? Yeah. So let's open this back up. Means deleting all of that slightly annoyingly. And yeah, I've got a plan. I've got a cunning plan, folks. We are going to let them pick those up. We're going to dynamite that out. With the depth sensor. Let's just pause a sec. How much? So we need a double platform over the top of it. Okay. Now let's just pause for a second. We're going to put a piece of dirt. Let's dirt. Oh, if I could control the game, that would be lovely. Please and thank you. So what I want to do is 1, 2, 3. That's right. So if we... That's the level we want to get to. So that would be 1. That would be 2. So if we put that there... Put that there, put the sensor on that, put a double platform on top of it. Yeah, that would work. Awesome. Right, so can we get both of those built, please, beavers? We've got 2 of our 3 wonders in, so let's detonate those, and let's think about getting in wonder number 3. Isn't it wondrous? Which I think needs in an piece of dirt there. Yep. And something that I had got incorrect in my assumptions was the bad water source that was suggested was in fact this guy, which has been sat here a very long time doing not very much. And I think the same theory could apply. We could tap into the side of this and maybe shoot it on an aqueduct over the top here, or cut through here or something like that to generate some power. Like that idea still. We just need to be careful that this is under an awful lot of pressure, because I think this is quite a strong bad water source. So we just need to watch for contamination of our beavers. And we need to do that so our houses are all connected. Let's launch that and get a nice boost in well-being. Right, hopefully that's done. Get that detonated, and then we're going to put in information, depth sensor, put you there. Put you on the top, and then we can put back that. We can put back the impermeable floor, and that'll be that sorted. I think that was the only... So we had that one as well. But I think we can probably get away with just using the one now, because we can just... We might not fill it as deep, but we'll have that anyway, the aquifer running. So I guess we should name this before it gets buried. So that's going to be UGWT depth. So underground water tank depth. And we'll need to use that to remember how to control these two, and ultimately we want to replace these with valves. So I guess initially we can replace these. So landscaping, valve. So if you're desperate for the sluices, I should spot that there was a mod of the sluices available now. We're going to put in a contamination sensor here. but we're going to make the building of these a higher priority than the building of that. So hopefully that gets done in the correct order. Seeing as they seem to be doing those relatively quickly, let's also build those. We will reconnect the path. And currently we will limit the flow of those to be 0 because we want to be smart about how we control this. Right, so what we need to do is automate off of that if the so this, if the depth of that is greater than, it can go to 7. Let's go 6. Yeah, if it's greater than 6. No, let's go 5. Yeah, if it's at 4.8 at the moment, and we're most of the way through the drought. Let's go 6. So if it's greater than 6, it switches on. So the off height, we want these off, means we want water to go into the tank. So off height, we want these to be shut, or mostly shut. I don't remember what I had them set to before. You guys might. And then the on height, we want them to be open. We want water to flow through. This one we will automate off of the same thing. The off height, we want that to be completely open. The on, we want that to be completely shut. That's correct. Right. Now, over here, oh, damn it. You didn't pay attention to my prioritization. You will respect my priority. So, this, we're going to need an OR gate for these. And maybe these. We'll do them one at a time. So let's put in, put the OR gates over here. Let's put the contamination sensor back. Got a little bit of time to get those sorted. How are we doing over here? We're just slowly getting dirt put in. That's fine. Over here. So what we want over here is, so this is a depth sensor. If the depth is less than 0.7, turn on. So basically pump constantly. This is going to be more complex. So we might need more than one depth sensor on here. I had it working in a range before, didn't I? Because I had it turn off if they pumped too much out. But what we can do is because they've changed the weather station, so we could make use of the weather station. Because in the weather station, you can activate it early. And if a bad tide is coming, we could have it come on a couple of hours early. Yeah. Yep. I've got a cunning plan. So what we do, and again, I sometimes create overly complicated systems. That's just how my brain works, okay? I'm not saying this is the best, but this is what I'm doing. So this is going to be crater, bad tide, trigger. Okay, and then this is going to be not that. This is not crater, bad tide, trigger. Okay. We have got 2 depth sensors. Okay. But I think we'll just use one for controlling the pumps. I've got a plan. And I think it might actually let us be more efficient with pumping the water out of there. So we'll go with it. Right. Have we got this built? We haven't got these built yet. Okay, so we need to get those built as well. And this is going to be an ore gate. Is that right? No, because I want this to go to 2 different levels. So we're going to need 2 banks of these, actually. That's annoying. Because I can't set different flow rates. So these ones are just going to be controlled off of this. So if this is greater than 2%, then you go. Yeah, then you come on. This will automate off of. We want a name for this. So this is main water contamination. Might have spelled that wrong, but you know, it's not a spelling competition. So main water contamination, yeah. And if it's off, unlimited. If it's on, we close, and the reaction speed will have at like 94%. Yep, that's fine. And then these we are going to automate. So these ones we are going to automate off of the main underground water depth when it is off. That means this is filling. So that means when it is off, we want full flow to go that way. When it is on, I'm going to limit the flow to, I don't know what yet, actually. We need to know what the flow rate is. So we need because it appears they've deprecated the old stream gauge. Can I just because it's easier, let's bung one of those. I want to put it there, really. Which means we need can stairs. Not like that though, because that's not how stairs work. Let's do that. Because I'm not sure what I want to limit it to. But we want to limit it to something. And then these... we want to have be unlimited in a bad tide. You might need 2 sets again. It's really annoying because they're not quite going to fit, I don't think. As we delete a set of wheels. Which might not be the end of the world because we're going to be getting on average more power. Might not matter actually. It might not matter. Because if this is the default flow rate, I think it will be okay. Other thing is we need to set this up as well. So for now, they're closed. That's fine. For now, these are open. For now, these are open. That's good. And for now, these are a speed bump, but we don't want to make them more of a speed bump. Except otherwise they'll pump all of the water out of there, so maybe slightly less of a speed bump. I can't remember what I had them set to before. So we do need some water always going this way because it's our water source. Or we move where we pump the water from. I've got a lot of automation setting up to do still. I know I'm just trying to prioritize the things that are more important. And I think this is more important. So these... Oh, we need to measure the flow rate first, don't we? Which we're going to get in a moment. So, yep, that's okay. That'll be fine. So over here. Right, so because it's not a bad tide, this is on. This is on because the water level's low. So what we're going to do is have another relay. And we'll put it over here so it's out of the way. This is going to be an and. We need to name this. So this is crater depth pumps. So we'll have and crater depth pumps and then the not that one. So that should be on at the moment. And what will happen is 6 hours from a bad tide starting, this will turn on, which will turn that off, which will turn that off, irregardless of the depth in here, which will turn the pumps off, which will let this fill up a bit. We might have to adjust the timing to get everything right, but that should be okay. We want this one. So this one we want to have if it is less than point. We could go like less than. That's fine. Less than 0.95. That turns on. And we want another AND gate. So this one is going to be crater water dump depth. So this is crater water dump controller. And this one we will have the and this one will have crater water dump depth, and this will have, what did we call that one? Crater bad tide trigger. So this one will come on just before a bad tide, and if there's not enough water in there to turn on this guy. So we'll just get that built. So we can now, this needs to be crater mech controller. And we will automate that. So crater mech pump controller. That should be on. Yep. Automate. Let's just slow down the time a little bit as we approach the end of the drought, just so I can get everything done. Automate crater mech pump controller. Unpause it. Unpause. Crater mech pump controller. Let's automate crater mech pump controller. Unpause. Automate. Crater mech pump controller. Crater mech pump controller. Hopefully this is right. Crater mech pump controller. Unpause. Automate. Crater mech pump controller. And then this one we will unpause, but we will then hook up to the crater water dump controller, and it gets paused because it's not approaching a bad tide. So this will start producing water. Both of these will start producing water, and these will pump it out, and they will pump it out as quickly as they can. Now they're not going to let any appear. So, and then 6 hours before, is 6 hours enough? I don't know. Maybe we should make it 10 hours. That'll give it a bit of time to fill up. We might have to adjust that balance point. We probably need to quite quickly turn these on. We probably need to turn these off. What we want to have a look at is this flow rate. So this flow rate is 0.32. Okay, that's less than I expected, but I guess it's spread across all of that. So if this turns on, I'm going to say to limit that to half of that, say 0.15. Actually, maybe we don't need to worry about this side. So I'm just going to test having that open and see what that does to the flow rate. Most of it still goes that way, which is kind of what I expected. But we get a little bit of flow this way. So now we need to look at this. So if the contamination is greater than 5%, it'll turn on. So we want to name this. This is going to be outflow contamination. So if it automate outflow contamination, if it is off, that means there is no contamination, which means that is shut. If it is on, we want that to be open. Yep. So outflow, if it is off, we want that to be shut. Yep. Outflow off, we want it to be shut. Outflow, if it is off, we want it to be shut. And then over this side, outflow, if it is off, we want unlimited. As if it is on, we want it to be shut. Outflow, if it is off, we want unlimited. If it is on, it's not going to be 1 meter a second, but you know, outflow off, unlimited, on, like that. Outflow off, that. Yep, that should be okay. And there we go, and we should be able to see that in a little while. And this is, it's annoying that you can't see that give a depth reading. So why have you not unpaused? Because I've still got them paused through that control mechanism. So they should start pumping, but I think that means we want that to be slightly lower. Yeah, so it goes both ways. Sometimes that's a good thing. So this is now generating a little bit of power. It's sending water. Is that switched? Okay, so that's switched. So now it's sending some water that way and some water that way. If we go down here, it's then kicking the water out that way. I'm a little bit nervous about that, so I think we'll raise that up a little bit, or a little bit, just because it'll be easier to build if we raise it up. Actually, they can build that off the bridge, so we might not need to raise it up a little bit, but it's easier. So that's not so good. Right, how do we address that? I think, because these were automated and they're now not. So that's a problem. So we need to address that. That was seasonally controlled, wasn't it? Does it matter now? Possibly not, because we've got these. Possibly not. But this is now generating more power, but not enough more power. Our treated plank production is paused, which is not great. It seems like all of our treated plank production is paused, which is not great. Our scrap metal is quite low. I wonder if, yeah, at least one of our mines was running in low production state when automation switched off. By that I mean real automation. Both of our mines were running in low production state. So we need a lot more bots. So we might need to up our bot production capacity. That's a thing. We need to switch those pumps on. So we have a lot more automation work still to do. But that's fine. We can get to that in due time. These... Why have you paused? What's caused you to pause? depth. Oh, because there's more water. They've not pumped all of the water out. Okay, that's wrong, isn't it? That's wrong. We want, if there is any water, to switch on. Yeah. We want to say if there's more than, say, a little bit of water, you switch on. Okay. Yep. That was incorrect. But it worked initially because, you know, there was no water in there. That's fine. We've got it fixed. It'll be okay. I'm still recovering from a very, very busy time at work, folks. But that is good. That should be okay now. Let's run a path around here to grab those, because that's nice and easy to deal with. Yeah, I don't think we need to worry about these as much now, because in theory this is going to be much deeper. Assuming we're not wasting any water. So we are slowly recharging this, which is good. We could maybe reduce this even more, couldn't we? Send more water this way so we generate even more power, because as long as there's enough, oh, we've got some bad happening. Okay. All right. What's not happened down here? Because these were automated, weren't they? Yep. So you need to open. You need to open. And you need to be probably at like 0.7. Something like that. Yeah. I guess maybe a bit. Let's let some of that water out quicker. There we go. You're going to uncover that pump for me. Yeah. I could maybe even go a little bit less on that, couldn't we? But I mean, we're generating a decent amount of power. Will we recover enough to recharge all of this? Probably not, because we drained it last time. And maybe we go even more severe for now to try and recover this. Be nice if you could have this be more adaptive, but you know. Let's open these up a bit more. To not flood the pine forest. That's a little challenge little challenge there. Getting that water to go around that corner quick enough. Okay, maybe we'll go back to that. Maybe we'll go back to that. Although it's the same volume of water, it seems to flow better. Not coming round here. So I guess we could have it so that it flowed that way, maybe. I don't know. So we've filled this to this level, which is the level of that. So yeah, we don't need these in here. This is all one giant connected thing now, which is quite cool. I've still got a lot of automation to sit and put in. I still have a lot of automation to sit and put in, which is fine. Oh wow, they've very quickly pumped that to full. That's impressive. Especially as we didn't actually end up fixing this. Between videos, or in the last two videos. So it would be nice to be able to capture this water. But we'd need to do, I guess we could make this bigger. But yeah. I don't know. This is filled up quite nicely as well, which is good considering that, again, we've got a lot of automation to go through still. But I'm pleased with how this is working. This is doing what I wanted. The valves have actually made that better. I think the valves are actually quite good. And these actually don't need automating, I don't think. I think this works just fine, being unlimited flow. And then, did we set this up? We did, yeah. So these will just shut during a bad tide, which will just push all of the bad water this way. In theory, we'll test that at some point. But yeah, I think we're in a pretty good place with that bit. I still need to go through and automate all of the rest of the productions, which is just going to be a massive job, to be honest. And I didn't have time between videos. I actually got my next video out of order because I probably shouldn't have made a TIMBERBORN video next, but I make the videos that are fun, honestly. Doing this appealed to me. That's why we made a TIMBERBORN video, you know? We do the things that are fun here. So what do we need to do next? Because this is going to be a short video, folks, because I'm still absolutely drained from work. We need the beavers to finish this. We can then think about getting our big forest in here. I might blast some of this out as well, so we've got a slightly bigger area. A drought is a good time to look at dealing with this. I think we might need to make like a temporary catchment area in case this erupts still. And what I might do is open it, get a dome over it so we can control it. But I think what we need to do, let's have a look at doing that briefly. But I think we need to make, let's say, some sort of containment area. To account for the fact that I think there's quite a lot of pressure in there. Because I don't exactly remember, but I think that's quite a high strength bad water source. So and then what we'll do is, well, one, we need to build that. They can get to all of that. We've got plenty of logs, which is kind of why I did it with levees, because levees are easy. And actually, through nothing more than luck, particularly, I was going to say I've built that to the same level, but I've built that one higher, you know. And guess what we need to do? Try and make sure that we're protecting the water source, which is kind of what I'm concerned about. So I'm going to do a second catchment down here. So that if it does come towards, we've got a little bit more capacity to capture it. And then we're going to go into it from above. I think actually we can just come from over there, can't we? At a reasonably high level, because then there's less to drain out. This probably seems like over engineering, but you know. Right. If I were to tunnel like that. Okay, we're slightly too high there. Oh, no. What we could do is dynamite that out. Dynamite that out. And then to build that, we need planks, gears, and metal beams. All right. Planks, beams, gears. Doing two because I couldn't fit in one of the big ones. We're actually, I was going to say we're low on planks, but we're not really. We've got loads. So planks, metal beams. I really miss playing the Timberpunk save, but I really don't want to mess that up with losing all of the automation. So that's why I'm trying to be a bit patient. I did have a look at the instructions that I was given for reverting back a version of the game. Oh, we've got a tunnel there. They've already built one of the tunnels. Really? Really, beavers? You're really that keen to get in there? I'm not going to build the ladder yet because I really don't want them to get in there until they've built all of that. So we might not actually get to doing this until next time. So, but what we can do is stage all of the resources that we need. Let's build another one of those. Another one of those. Another one of those, because if we've got all the resources handy, obviously it'll be much quicker. To get stuff done, we need to get down here as well, don't we? So let's give them that, and that, and that. So we need to have that built as well. And I'm going to remove that so that ultimately if we need to, we could just throw a levee in there if things were going really badly. So we'll leave them to work on that. We've actually got more beavers now, so something we need to do is swap over some of our beaver population into some of the bot jobs, because I think here we have a whole load of beavers that are doing construction, and we really don't want that when it comes to sending them in to that tunnel. That would be bad. That would be very bad. The aquatic farms can be beaver based. Builders huts we're going to need to swap over. The excavators are quite high injury, so we don't really want that. Same for the explosives factories. The fluid dumps can be all beavers. Foresters can be all beavers. Gatherer flags are all beavers. Gear workshops can be all beavers. Grills they're already all beavers. Cool. Lumber mills will set to be all beavers. And I'm hoping this is going to free up a load of bots. Lumberjack flags again can be all beavers. And then any builders huts that we can't populate with bots before we go do that job, we will just pause. Paper mills can be beavers as well. And we're now 30 beavers short, but we can address that by making more beavers. So let's encourage that with yet more poolside beaver accommodation. Hopefully when I sort out the automation a bit more, things will be better for our numbers. But at the moment where we're just brute forcing things, we just need a bigger workforce. So, you know, we kind of are where we are with things. But I will sit and go through a bunch of the automation between videos and try and help with that. Right, how are we doing, beeves? We could probably help them by bringing some logs over, because it's probably quite a trek for them, but, you know, I'm nothing but a cruel overlord, so... This is all paused because the conditions say that it should be paused, which is good. Got loads of logs there. I guess there's no easy... yeah, the connection sends them quite a long way. It is what it is, you know. It's not super urgent. Let's automate this guy. So while we're waiting, so we want 2 resource counters. Come on. Let me click on you, B and B, and then we want a memory chip. So you're going to be bad water, and we will go greater than or equal to... No, don't remember what I set the thresholds to for planks now. Do bad water, because what I actually like to have is 95 and 80%. So you are bad water high. You are... well, we're low on bad water. Fair enough. Bad water low. are bad water controller. So you take in bad water low, you reset on bad water high, and you are automate off of bad water controller. Because we've only got 4 bots in there at the moment. So let's up that to 6. And hopefully that will produce enough that it will then pause at points. Again, because we had it set up with fairly complicated automation previously. And they've just, I think we're just missing some pathage there. Yeah. Awesome. Right. Where was I and what am I doing? We were building this, weren't we? So we've still got the this capture to do as well. So I guess what we could also do is, as long as I pause that one, then we could put in that and that. Can they reach those? Yeah, they can. Okay. Maybe there would be a benefit, even though they've built most of this now, putting in not there necessarily, maybe there. Logs obtain, prioritized by haulers. Let's do that. And then let's do that. Because there's still a bit to build there. So I think we'll come back and attack that next time. We should pause those. They don't need to be running. If I get chance between videos, I'm going to tackle some of the basic automation stuff we need to do. Trying to remember some of the stuff that I had set up. So we did already redrain the battery. I think because some stuff is just running more than we had it running before. Like our gears are sat producing when they're full. So let's just do that one. So again, we want... We're going to start building our water-cooled compute system. So we have that, and then we have the memory. So is above 95, below is 80. Let's name them. So this is gears low, or gear low. That's good enough. I can tell what it means. Gears high. If you don't rename these, you're going to have an utter nightmare, I think. Gears controller. So we set off of gears low, we reset off of gears high. And yeah, because we're not even using smart power either, are we? So automate off of gears controller. Automate off of gears controller. Automate off of gears controller. And what's our gears level at the moment? At 76%. Okay. Can you do a V copy? Yeah, you can. Ah, wow. Now that is a game changer. Bosh. That makes me happy. That makes things a lot quicker. I wish the lights were a little bit brighter so you could see them through the light. But yeah, that's so good. That's going to be a lot quicker. That's going to be a lot quicker. Right, I'm going to do a couple more while we're here. So, resource, bosh, memory. So, let's do paper. So we'll do again the same thing. 95 greater than. I did do, yeah, less than 80. Let's rename them. So that's paper low. Paper high. So you take in low, you reset on paper high. You are paper controller. Grab a paper mill, automate, paper controller, B, copy, awesome. I think anything is that's also copying the resource, but you know, it's worth it for the speed of getting that done. Definitely worth it for that. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of frustrating, you know, getting a demand coming out of that, even though it's not using any. So let's do explosives. It's where I miss smart power. I've not got that installed at the moment because I think that needs an update. I've not really checked. Just one of the ones I removed with the update. XI. Low. I should set them as well as I do that, shouldn't I? So above 95, below 80, and then we want memory controller. Exp controller. Okay, and that takes in explosives low, resets on explosives high. Check both of those. Yep. So we then come over to the explosives factories, automate on you, and copy bosh, and that should say, oh, we've got some more paper mills down there. Let's go grab you. No, grab you. B. Just curious because that was a beaver working in there, and I think we've got another one down here. Let's automate you. Excellent. Good stuff. We're starting to get things under control. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there, folks. Hope you found that interesting. Obviously, we're trying to reconsolidate the colony whilst things happen. Oh, they've nearly got this done, which is good. They've got this done, so maybe we don't pause there. Maybe we try and do this. So we need to come in here, builders huts, bot. I know we don't have enough bots to man all of these, but it's the easiest way to ensure that I don't make a mistake. So let's just check that again. Yep. Just unpause for a second. We're massively short of bots, but you know, just what it is. Unpause. I'm going to replace the dome. Closed as a high priority. Let's make you a high priority. I'm going to have a levy. Pause for a second. Where do I want to place that? I'm going to pre-place a levy there, paused on high priority. And let's see what happens, shall we? Yeah, let's do this thing. So I might have overreacted because that wasn't too bad, but it was worth doing. There was a little bit of spill. So we can delete that now. We can delete... Yeah, we can just let them build it. Yep. Excellent. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. We do have a little bit of cleanup work to do. Guess we can do via... where could we place a bad water pump? That would work, wouldn't it? Water, bad water pump. Put you there. Put a ladder there. Put a path there. We can then get that pumped out. Make that a low priority. They built that already. Or are they just bringing in the extra resources we need now? Almost. Wow. Nice. Good job, beavers. Good job. So those can go, I guess. We can tidy up those defences once that's been pumped out. Yeah. Not so bad. Wow, our supply and demand are very, very different. That's not so good. So yeah, between videos, I'm going to go through and sort out all of our automation again, because we definitely need to do that. Why do we have no chassis? I'm not sure. I think we need to up our bot production. So I might have to put in some more bot production, but we don't have very much power at the moment. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, click that like button, and see you next time.